Hey guys, welcome back to the C&J show, and I got my favorite gin and juice here, and I have my sister Neek, and we hope that you guys are having a good day today. Let's get on with this topic, and this is part two. Um, so okay, gin and juice and Neek, we were talking about the whole King and T.I. and all this little fusion that they got going on. Now, the part that I did not care for with Mr. White here, when he said, I do you like Trayvon Martin, and then if you hit me or do something, you have me down, I shoot your behind, pow pow, like Zimmerman did Trayvon Martin. Now I don't know how everybody excused that, but could y'all explain what it could have possibly meant? Cause I just didn't see that part right there. What was? How do you even mix that up in a good way? Gin and juice. What? How that was meaning?
Um, I definitely don't understand why that was looked over because
Hold on, I don't want to cut you really quick, but Jen, now I guess because he did say because he's an older man, and he said, "Ti, this is what you're teaching your son to disrespect the elderly because he's 52," and he was saying after that, this is how he would do them as an example. So now you can say what you thought.
yeah, that's definitely a terrible example, and I feel like social media on the whole pick and choose who to crucify based off of what they said because there was a rapper by the name of Tokyo Jets who jokingly said something about how she would George Floyd one of her friends. It was a joke or whatever, where she said it was a joke, and she was completely canceled for that remark. That was shortly after George Floyd's passing, and still to this day, and no one listens to her music. She's like basically done. And Charleston White is saying things like this, and he still is being invited on different shows to be interviewed. He talks and says whatever he wants to say, and it's just like, okay, so are we picking and choosing,
Now
or
his thing is too. He said like when he said something about Nipsey Hussle, ain't nobody know that did uh N word, and he's like this. He was saying all that stuff, but once somebody got him on the show, it was like he said his name. That's what he meant. Like his Nipsey real name was Arigas or something like
It's like a
that.
Muslim name.
Yeah, it's a Muslim name. And this man here was a good man, and uh Lil Wayne's son said this is the name. He was gonna miss him so clearly, and all this other kind of stuff that he was saying. And I'm like, wow, well that part makes sense, but why did you have to say it in this way first? He said this is what he do. He says a lot of stuff, talk a lot of crap, until somebody do put him on the show or interview him, and then you see that that's not that he actually do got common sense, and he works with, you know, the youth and the black kids, black communities, doing things out of his own pocket, trying to help everybody and stuff like that.
I just feel like it's a better way to get attention, or every time he's in the news it's something for something negative, for saying something out of pocket. I just feel like he is too old for
Yeah.
one. You need to be thinking about retirement, sir, instead of downing all of these people and making them feel bad about themselves and being so rude and nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
Yeah, nah, that's what I think he definitely, and I feel like, and it's shame on him because a lot of things he say it do be true. I
Yeah.
feel like like they like how they say when a rapper die or something like that, it's all over the place and stuff like that, and everybody's showing his love and donating his money for some of them, or just whatever. Meanwhile, people in the hood or whatever it is, like he said, kids is getting killed, and people walking down the street or whatever is getting killed, and ain't no love, ain't no support from nobody. Which, like I say, it's only so much you can do if this person is not known. It's not gonna touch everywhere and everybody. Obviously, if somebody is popular, you got 3 million followers or however many, of course, it's gonna be shown in a different way. So I
Yeah.
think he gotta be I don't know. I think he need to have a better approach because the whole thing he said with Ti, son, it was true. He quoted one of the things in the Bible where he talked about, which me and Jen talked about it before, even now, where, he said, like, you need to talk to him because, the Bible said, he like, I ain't say this. This is what the Bible said. Disobedient children will not live their days out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And if you follow that and you believe that or whatever it is, then, you need to talk to your child, have them to relax a little bit.
Now, do you guys know Wayne Brady?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you know him. Now he just for one second, he said he went to the Dave Chappelle show,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the guys' name, I guess, was Paul, was another comedian, made a joke about him.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't take it funny. He didn't think that it was funny. It was in a joke, basically saying in so many words that he's not black enough in a way. Okay. And Dave Chappelle was basically saying, no, I did not know that there's was something that he was going to say or something like that, because they are friends with Brady and Dave Chappelle. So they end up doing some kind of skit and it went well. But what Brady said, he was like, no, I looked at it. Okay, if the crowd is laughing about it, obviously they think it's what truth to it, because they always laughing about it. He said, but then after that, what happens is now it's hard for me to get certain roles, because this is what I've been struggling with. So if it's a role, now that little remark that you said, it got to somebody, or before it even reached you, whether the remark was out there or not, this is the way that people is thinking, and now this is just going to go add on top of something. When he was like, yeah, people think when people have money, like Keke Palmer said, but we have the money, but we have to keep our money flowing too. So she was like, I take any roles, whether y'all gonna see it on Netflix or it's on DVD, Blockbuster, or it's a leading role in the movies. She was like, that still is a job, and I've took it. That's why she's so blessed up until this day. And Wayne Brady said the same thing. Like, when people do that, they discredit you, and now other people have to say, okay, no, you ain't gonna fit for that role, because now he has to deal with, he's not black enough, he's not white enough. Now I'm saying this, even though people, and I had said this on the last video, that King, if people was to look at him and go back and look at Family Hustle, King was always doing and getting into something.
Yeah, but that don't make it right.
No, it don't make it right. But I'm saying, if this is, it's not like, okay, I'm being influenced by this person, because if you look at it, nobody's talking about Boosie's son though. Nobody don't criticize him the way they do King. Like, this is, for me, I just thought, okay, wow, this is like got something to do with racing fast. Your dad like to race fast cars. You racing fast cars. Even if you talk disrespectful, you're doing some stuff.
I think people understand that Boosie's son didn't come up exactly the way T.I.'s son came up. There was this thing where this dude mama was stealing out of the store. So, because she needed clothes or whatever for him. So, even if he took a certain type of route, because I think his dad, you with your dad or whatever, you could live a certain type of way. But I don't think Boosie money went as long as T.I.'s went. You get what I'm saying? So, of course, I think, and then T.I. is more popular than Boosie. So, what I'm saying, it's not gonna.
But Nick, what I'm trying to just say to you in that thing is, I know we see different things, and we are, I guess, if you want to say, if that's the case, we're I guess a product of our environment or something. Mm-hmm. But also, we didn't have nothing like that. We should have been goons in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the teaching was not like that.
Right.
But regardless, if people did look at us and they looked us up, some of us they're gonna see is one way, and some of us they're gonna see in a whole nother different way. Like, well, who raised you? And that's what I think is the problem, maybe too, that people are boosting it up with everything that he does do. It seems like he's trying to do it. If it's something with him, just saying something. My son, when he wanted to grow, ain't nobody was thinking about, okay, he want to grow his dreads or something like that, right? This is something that everybody in the world is doing. But he wanted to do it, and it was like, well, that doesn't fit you, because who's supposed to grow their dreads is the bad kids, or the kids that's holding weed in the hands all day or something.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Right.
You see?
Right. Yeah,
So do you think that they amping him where he feel like he got to prove something? Like, okay, well, wait, no, I'm going to keep being a certain way too, because now I'm getting sicker every single time I do something. Everybody, they coming down on me too. Like, I'm just dang, I got a speeding ticket. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it is what it is. You know, I feel like people got to raise their kids up to y'all got to deal with whatever you got to deal with it and call it a day. You know.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
to
But
be
T.I.
honest.
said he already been giving King whoopings and this and the third. He did everything that he could do up until this point as a father. So it seems like
You think it's in his blood?
no, I don't think it's. I think it's all of these teenagers that do whatever they want to do and they don't want to listen to anything anyone has, especially boys. So I wouldn't even say boys because girls are the same way. I think it's just a teenage thing. You feel like you grown. You feel like you know everything. You feel like, no one can tell you anything. It's just a teenage thing, and it got to run its course, to be honest. And I don't feel like I think we shouldn't be as hard on him as we are as adults
because when you just look Jenna Juice, you just looked at Neek and Neek just said, well, Boostie's son, his lifestyle was a little different. But
yeah,
because
you said
I know
one
that
thing
Neek,
about why do they judge him differently? Of course,
because nobody don't say nothing to him, but he still is a child. And Boosie didn't have money since that boy didn't grew up though.
No, not like that. That him and his baby mom was getting into it a few years ago about how, he like, man, you broke, you went to jail for stealing. She was like, well, yeah, I mean, whatever. I ain't had no money for XYZ, so you ain't giving me nothing. I gotta do what I gotta do. But what I'm saying is, it's just like how people look at us, right? In minority communities, you got more crime, right? That's a given as far as with stealing, as far as people doing drugs, selling drugs, gambling out when they're supposed to. Whatever it is, you're going to find that more in minority communities rather than the suburban communities. Yeah, you got people going to try to break in over there, but they're from the outside community 9 out of 10.
Because they're probably is going,
okay, y'all got the money.
And in their communities, maybe we're taking a bunch of drugs all day and we're committing suicide.
Yeah,
because everybody got something that they're doing.
Everybody got something, but that's something separate. But we talking about as far as with certain type of crimes, you going to jail for little misdemeanors or whatever at such an early age, getting into it with grown people, this, that, and the third. There are certain things that, like, what I was explaining was when you are raised a certain way, it's just different. You don't expect it to, do certain things, and that's just it. Just like the rest of his siblings. One of them got his rap career going. They comparing them to J. Cole and this and that. Not saying that, it's good for people to compare him to the other siblings, but this is the comparison. They grew up in a good, healthy home. You know what I'm saying?
But also, Nick, don't you think that that's a little challenging too? When every single time, like, okay, not saying anything, we got Biggie Smalls, rest in peace to him, and Faith Evans. Their son went on the radio. Did you hear it? Okay, their son went on the radio, and the man was like, look, man, it was him and his friend. Come on, and was like, yeah, you know what? We're expecting for you to blow it out, boy. We already know how you finna be, because Biggie was your daddy, and Faith is your mom, so we already know. He didn't do it. It wasn't a good job at all. And, his little friend and they even told him, he had a white friend. He was like, dang, he got more than you, more everything than you and stuff like that. And the boy just seems so discouraged. And it's like, okay, when people is comparing you to somebody, and I think what's going on too, a lot of people is comparing King to his dad. And then they're comparing how he looks as well. Because when Dominique was growing up doing the same, everybody like, okay, why Dominique was walking around inside of look like a hooded area. What was he doing walking around there?
Who's Dominique?
His son, T.I.'s son that can rap. The one that can rap good.
Yeah.
And people were saying that, and he's saying like, okay, no, he wants to get everything on his own. And he's not, whatever the case may be. I think that it's a little bit harder. And I don't think people are looking at that part. I don't think people is either they're not even looking at how we as black people judge people like Nick Cannon, like I would say. There are certain things. Nick Cannon is only good for blacks when it comes to wilding out. That's what we accept him as. Anything else, if this man go and do, you're a lame-o for doing it. Okay? Bow Wow. Nobody even mentions his name anymore. But if he, after he turned about 17, 18, he went to Lil Wayne them label, nobody was going to listen to it just because it's Bow Wow. It has nothing to do with whether it sound good or not. If we was to say now, Orlando Brown, his music to me sound really good. But it's Orlando Brown. He does everything everybody else do. He does the drugs, hardcore drugs, the soft drugs, everything. And he's doing this stuff, but it's Orlando Brown, so we're not going to play that and not riding down no cars. We cancel people out, and we choose to pick who we want to do things, and we say this person should be excused, this person should not. I think that's putting more on a young person, and we're stopping them from who they are, or maybe maybe they're that way. But we're always judging people in a way. We putting people on. Like I said, I don't care what. Boosie's son, they both is in it. We both should be talking about them the same way. I don't care if he got
Boosie,
money.
I don't know about everybody else, but I talk about Boosie's son the same way. And
you do?
Yeah.
Because I don't hear nobody, not one person
I feel like, and it's not so much as Boosie's son, but Boosie. I talk about Boosie. I talk about T.I. I be like, well, these dudes need to get it together, because it's like, this is what you're doing to your son, your sons, or whatever it is, but you had room enough to talk about somebody else. Like, and that be my biggest thing, is like, okay, you see, I understand everybody go through it, and how every child ain't gonna be the same way. It ain't gonna be easy. But I just look at it as, okay, you talking about how somebody else raising they kids up, but meanwhile you ain't finished raising yours.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So that'd be my thing with it. But to each his own. God forbid anything. Hopefully, it be learning lessons and things like that. But they still young, lot life to live, and I'm pretty sure they'll grow out of a lot of the stuff that they doing.
With maturity, that has to happen. Mm-hmm. But guys, we finna be out with this one, and I'm pretty sure we gotta have another thing. Jen, just to wrap it all up. In other words, basically, a little bit. Do you feel that you have more to prove when you have your own community and people constantly putting you down too, by saying, okay, you was given a silver spoon, or we can't really put you up? Like, everybody could put Michael Jordan up for having the Jordans, but his name is still on a Jordan shelf shoe, but nobody's gonna get that shoe no credit because it's the shelf. We can't praise that. Do you think that it's harder when people have, in this rich lifestyle, also they have a harder ego to try to follow when everybody is looking at them and talking and comparing them constantly, or saying they're not black enough, they're not white enough?
I don't know if anybody's looking at them. I don't think I'm looking at them, to be honest.
But people that do.
Them to be, rich kids, and if they want to do something, they do it, and if not, they don't. You know what I mean? I feel like, if they do something and it takes off, it takes off. If just like, P. Diddy's son, he did a couple things, and people showed some interest, but not anything to put him on a certain level, or on the level of his dad, True. But we just moved on from it. So I just think those kids put more pressure on themselves, because I think they feel like they have such big shoes to fill, or they have to live up to their parents' name, or, things like that. And I just think it's not in the stars for them most of the time, to be honest with you. So I do feel like we do need to stop putting that pressure on them if we are doing that, because these are people. And
because Bobby Christina couldn't sing at all.
Yeah. Did she ever try to sing?
She tried, and her voice wasn't even there for nothing.
Yeah.
But people just automatically just felt like, okay, because Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown could sing, both of them, girl, you is finna blow this house down, and it just wasn't in her.
It's not realistic,
Yeah.
It's not realistic for people to put those expectations on people.
Yeah, and guys, that's all we got to say about that. But we'll probably have, heck, if it's a Chronicles, I guess it can keep going on and on and on, because we're not done. We'll come back with this part 3 with Mr. White, and I guess with Tuka's mom, Mo3's mom, and FBDG B's mom, the
FB
duck.
FBG
Yeah,
duck.
just Duck's mom, because I don't want to even sound like I'm being disrespectful to him. Rest in peace to him. So, yeah, I guess that's it.